On my day-to-day work and life, I use a bunch of different AI tools like DeepSeek for code optimization. I always ask ChatGPT to explain to me very complicated Excel formulas step by step. When I have nobody to share my deep thoughts with, I sometimes even use cloud AI as a therapist. So AI has become part of my life, and sometimes I'm not even aware of it. During my study and work, I've been learning traditional data analysis for quite some time, and I cannot believe that AI can turn hours of data analysis work just into 15 minutes of prompting. So if you want to learn how AI can handle it, this video is for you. In this video, I'm gonna use dirty cafe sales data from Kaggle. This is a data about daily transactions of different items in the cafe. It records quantity, price per item, how many people spend on it in total, payment method, and the location. The data set is dirty in a way that it has a lot of missing values and disguised missing values in it. So our goal today is to use DeepSeek for in-depth data exploration, data visualization, and finally extracting insights that can advise actionable business decisions. In the rest of this video, I will keep using the prompting framework I learned from Google Prompting Essentials. So almost every prompt will have a context, task, persona, format, constraint, etc. First of all, let's get a basic understanding from the data. After I imported data, this is the prompt I use for the first task. I requested DeepSeek to act as a professional data analyst and specify 3 tasks it needs to solve: checking data size, what each column describes, plus 5 sample data under each column, and then return data types. To get a more user-friendly output, I also ask it to display everything on the table, and this is what DeepSeek is returning to us. So we can see the number of records is around 4,000. It's indeed returning a table back to us. Honestly, this table looks very ugly, but I like the fact that it also mentions data quality issues without being asked to. Then I'm gonna ask DeepSeek to make table above more presentable. What we get from it is an overview of dirty cafe sales data. We can see that transaction ID consists of 3 letters plus some random digits. The rest of the columns have some disguised missing values like arrow and unknown. The data type of every column is a string, even though columns like quantity, price per unit, total spend should have been numerical, but they are not due to arrow and unknown as placeholders. DeepSeek lists out the data quality issues on the table as well. Step 2, let's ask DeepSeek to fix data quality issues. So I'm gonna use the following prompt. As it already mentioned data integrity issues in the first steps, I requested to give us counts and percentages of missing values in each column and handle them in the proper way. Then we will get the cleansed data set as new input data. So DeepSeek is generating a table that records a number of empty values, missing values, and disguised missing values like arrow and unknown, as well as their percentages in each column, respectively. As we can see in some columns like payment method, 10% of data is missing. Going down to data cleansing strategy, I really like the fact that DeepSeek filled the missing values in total spend based on quantity and the price per unit through this very straightforward formula. Then we can keep going down and click the download button to get the data. But unfortunately, it doesn't really work well. So I'm gonna go back to copy the given Python code and run it in Jupyter Notebook. But here I found out a small mistake, like only the missing values in total spend are handled through calculation, but it seems DeepSeek forgot to fill the missing values in quantity and the price per unit in the same way. So I'm gonna add a new prompt to fix this error, and here is corrected. Let me just copy paste it to Jupyter Notebook and get the data. As you can see, the dirty data is no longer dirty. These arrow and unknown are replaced by empty values. Let's talk about descriptive statistics. Let me import a cleansed data set as new input and give the prompt like this. So I want DeepSeek to calculate mean, median, etc. for numerical columns like total spend, price per unit, and quantity. And I prefer to see frequency tables and proportions for categorical columns. Here are 3 tables we get from it. It turns out that sandwiches are the most popular items and most people prefer to pay by credit cards in the eating store. Now we have a basic understanding understanding of the data. Let's explore it further with data visualization with this prompt. I want DeepSeek to fully explore patterns and trends in the data through multiple types of chart. Like we can plot a time series chart to see how much money people spend varies over time and if there's any seasonality in it. Because it's very intuitive to believe that total spending might have a little spike during the holiday season like a Christmas. But unfortunately, DeepSeek can't directly plot the charts in conversation window here like ChatGPT, which will make things a bit of inconvenient. I still got Python code I must run manually. So let me just copy paste it again in the Jupyter notebook and let's see what's gonna happen. It turns out the results are pretty good, so I forgive DeepSeek for this inconvenience. From the 3 pie chart above, we can see very equal distribution of a product sales, payment methods, and sales locations. And from the line charts and bar chart below, we can see which item is the most popular one and some important trends. For example, this cafe is most visited in December and during weekends. Then let's check the second part of the data visualization to see if there are additional patterns. So based on these 4 charts, we can tell that most revenue comes from sandwiches, smoothies, and salad. Credit cards are always the most used way of payment, and we see a spike in all 3 payment methods, definitely because of the holiday purchase behavior. From average transaction value, this cafe is most profitable in December, which really makes sense. So the purpose of data analysis is usually for business use. The conclusions we draw from the data are for business to come up with some actionable decisions or plans. But this is actually can be done by DeepSeek as well. Let me frame the prompt in this way. Here I ask DeepSeek to play the role as data scientist for 3 things. First of all, extract 5 insights from the analysis above. Second, acknowledge limitations of the analysis, then present the conclusions to non-technical people with plain language. So based on these key findings, DeepSeek gave some business suggestions as well. For example, the cafe should always prioritize selling sandwiches and plan more inventory and staffing during the peak months and weekends. But as the data lacks certain information, we cannot tell customer loyalty, profit margins, and customer segments. One last step to go before the end of this video. It's always a very good habit to do documentation for the analysis you've done. So we may as well ask DeepSeek to generate a report for everything, and it's giving us very comprehensive conclusions with data and tables as evidence. That's everything about using DeepSeek for data analysis. Hope you get some insight from this video and see you next time. Bye.